Hello everyone, welcome to the channel update for November. I hope everyone's October went well, and you had a good Halloween if you celebrated. Let's go ahead and talk about what's going on the channel. As you might expect, Dragon Quest VIII is still ongoing. It is a long game, and continuing to move along through that. It's been quite a lot of fun so far, and it will still be quite a lot of fun till the end. And it is doing very, very well, I'm pretty happy to say. Last month saw both the start and completion of The Secret of Monkey Island, the first game. That was the first winner of the two winners for the Patron's Choice Let's Play. Once Dragon Quest VIII wraps up, then we will be starting Final Fantasy IX, which was the other winner. The Secret of Monkey Island, I did enjoy overall. I feel like its age showed in some ways, and I'd never back in the late '80s, early '90s, there was kind of two big camps with adventure games. The people who really loved the Sierra games and people who really loved the LucasArts games. I didn't know a whole lot of people in the Sierra camp who felt strongly one way or the other about the LucasArts games, but I did know some people who felt strongly in the LucasArts games who were not big fans of the way that Sierra games played. And I can say with certainty that had I played a lot of both of them at the time, I'd only played Sierra games, I definitely would have preferred the Sierra games. I still do. Which is not in any way to say that the LucasArts games are bad. I have enjoyed the ones that I've played. Both, Secret of Monkey Island, just played, and, of course, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade and Fate of Atlantis. However, with the Monkey Island, maybe part of it is just the age of it. I think it is one of the earlier ones, but I'm actually not positive on the time frame. I loved the humor. I thought the humor was fantastic. Just absolutely wonderful part of it. But the way that they handled the puzzles really frustrated me because it there's an element of padding to both the Sierra and LucasArts games of making what is really a short game. Like, if you know exactly what you need to do in any of those games, you can get through them in very little time. Like, you can sit down, play through it, and boom, you're done. Like, if you've got a few hours, you can just easily whip through the games, no problem whatsoever. The way that those games lengthen themselves is through the puzzles and getting people to try to figure the puzzles out. Sierra kind of had the way of you got to save frequently and figure out what you need to do and stuff like that, and you sometimes do have to restart the game because you failed something, and notice something about your partner at the very beginning of the game in a Police Quest game, for example. Which, to be fair, those are not great ways of doing it, in my opinion. Not the best. But I did feel like and there certainly was moon logic and stuff like that, but I feel like there were always clues to what you needed to do. With The Secret of Monkey Island, I felt that there were a lot of things that there were no clues for, and the intended game design was that you would get stuck and you would literally try everything in your inventory on everything that you could click it on every screen that you could access. And that was the intended design, and that's not great. I actually think that's worse. Just because, there's no actual puzzle there. And the big one to me was using the magnet on the key. It makes sense once you know what you need to do, because obviously that key is iron, it's ferrous, and you got a super powerful magnet, and you can just zip it on over to you. Okay, that actually makes sense, but there's no clue that that is how it works. You need some element of, you enter the room, and like in the old text parser days of the Sierra games, you type look room, just look room, and you'd get into the room, and it would describe the room, and the clue would be, it would say, there is a large iron key on hanging from the wall or something like that. And then later with the point and click, you'd use the eye, and you'd just be standing in one place, and you could click the eye on everything, and you'd get the clue. You click on the key. There's a large iron key hanging on there, and while you might not put two and two together, that is the clue. It is an iron key, super powerful magnet, can just magnetize, magnet draw that key over kind of thing. There was no clue at all in The Secret of Monkey Island that key was iron, that it could be picked up with a magnet, and that is was one of my frustrations. There were a few others, but that one to me was the big one, because I kept wanting to look at it. That is my natural inclination. Look at all the things. I want to go into a room and I want to click on all the things. I want to look at all of them. And that is actually one of the things that I felt was very lacking in The Secret of Monkey Island, is that you couldn't just look at all the things. There's so many opportunities for jokes. I mean, you move up to them and you look at them, but there's no, just survey the room, you get into a new one, let's see what information the game provides me, kind of thing. And that frustrated me. Now, again, part of it is honestly, if this had been a relatively minor game by another company, not a big company, I wouldn't have these expectations, so I wouldn't be going, I wouldn't complain as much. It'd just be like, oh, okay, they didn't do as good a job there. The fact that The Secret of Monkey Island is so well regarded is one of the reasons why I consider it so egregious that there was no clue for that. I'm guessing that the clue, quote unquote, is just that you're supposed to expect keys of this nature to be ferrous metal. I guess, and that to me is a stretch. So that one, like that in particular bugged me. There was also the when I was on the ship and I'm trying to use the ladder, but I didn't realize that you walk up the rope ladder, because I expect to use. Same thing with the hatch, where there's no indication that it's open, because again, you can't look at it. And now I tried, moving, opening, using, all of these things didn't indicate that, if I had clicked use, and the game understood what I'm trying to do, then the response should have been, there's no need to use it, it's already open. The second it says already open, I'd be like, okay, I just need to walk. All right, makes sense. That's kind of thing. Sometimes you would have multiple ways of doing the things in the point-and-click Sierra games. And certainly there were multiple keywords that you could use to, in the text parser days. So I kind of feel like from a user experience, user interface way, at least with respect to The Secret of Monkey Island, the Sierra games, way better. All the subjective things, I can totally understand people having an absolute blast with the humor in The Secret of Monkey Island way more than any of the Sierra games. That makes perfect sense, and that's completely subjective and stuff like that. I know that some of the later, I think 2 and 3 of Monkey Island are considered even better, I think, if I remember correctly. So I'm hoping that some of this is just it's an early game, the kinks get ironed out. I will definitely play some of the later games. I'm not sure all of them. I haven't looked into all of them, but I do know that 2 and 3 I think are pretty well regarded, and I have wanted to play them. And I do not regret playing Secret of Monkey Island at all. It was just it was a shock to me that is what I had issues with. a silly convoluted little puzzle that once you're done, it's like, okay, I see why I didn't get it. That I don't have a problem with, and that's fine. Just the idea of that there was no indication to me that that key was magnetic, or I mean ferrous metal, and also that I was doing perfectly logical things, and there was no clue within the game with regards to the rope ladder and the hatch. That no, you should just use the other thing. Walk to. It's not logical, but you can just do that. That those little things felt like, how were they not caught? Well, the key thing I do think was just more of a, you know, try all of your inventory things on all of the places of the screen kind of puzzle. But anyway, I'm saying all this, and I don't want it to diminish that I did have fun with the game. I did have a lot of fun with the game. Plunder Bunny as a term of endearment is absolutely going to live in my brain forever, I hope. That was great. So it really is, like, I did really enjoy it. It was just, like, a couple little things that frustrated me irrationally, shall we say. So, but I do appreciate everyone who voted for that, and those who submitted it on the Patron's Choice. I hope you really enjoyed the LP. Again, like I said, I did really enjoy the game, and I do plan to play at least 2 and 3. So I'll look forward to those eventually. I did play a little bit of Peglin as well. Had a surprisingly successful run on that, on Crucible 8, which I was shocked that I had a successful run. Usually I'm terrible with Crucible, with the higher tiers of Crucible, so it was a surprise to me. And that brings us to the current Let's Play in that slot, The Phantom Fellows. I saw something about it, and it seemed like kind of a combination of the Dark Side Detective with the Blackwell Saga games. Both, point-and-click adventure games. Very different. Like, there is humor in the Blackwell games, but they're very serious for the most part. Whereas the Dark Side Detective is completely comedy. But both of them are spooky-ish games. And since, it was Halloween time, I figured it would be a good time to play this one. It only came out back in September, so a very, very new game. Looking forward to seeing what viewers think. I'm also trying out something a little bit new with the thumbnails. There has been an option to test out thumbnails, like do A/B testing. You can actually do ABC testing. You can test up to 3 thumbnails and see which ones, perform better. So far, there's been extremely little outside, like non-subscriber viewership of, or at least viewership of people who haven't already been to the channel of the series. So I don't know that the A/B testing is gonna matter that much. I kind of feel like any viewer of mine who is interested in something pixel art, point-and-click adventure-y called The Phantom Fellows, they would click on it no matter what the thumbnail was. So I don't think that it's really making that, it's not a great test. I would like to be, and that's one of the problems with the YouTube A/B testing thing, is that there's no option to filter out certain types of viewers. Like, I can't just filter it by non-subscribers kind of thing. And that sucks and is frustrating. So, I don't know. It's a test that I don't think is actually going to get me much information. But you can actually see here the 2 different thumbnails. This playlist is giving me one, and the videos here in the feed are giving me the other. Feel free to let me know what you guys think is the better thumbnail. So far, this one with the station wagon is doing better. I think that the one with the two characters, where one is kind of obviously a ghost because he's glowing blue, um, seems like it would be the better one. But so far, watch time wise, the station wagon is the one that's doing better. But again, like considering that it's almost entirely subscribers coming to these videos, it's not a great test. So I don't know, but feel free to let me know what you guys think one way or the other. Um, it was just something I like. It's been available for a little while, but I haven't really had good opportunities to test it. There haven't been a whole lot of games where I thought of a couple different good thumbnails that it would be worth testing it on, and obviously, once you get past episode 1, it doesn't really matter that much, kind of thing. So, um, that's just a little thing that I'm testing out with that. But do let me know what you think of the game. I, of course, have recorded ahead of where the videos are. And my opinion of the game so far, which, I haven't finished it, I haven't completed it, is kind of like, when there's been a big budget movie and then you have all the imitators, some of the imitators, they're all lower budget. Some of them are good, you know? They do some new interesting things. They feel fresh in some ways, but they're all obviously imitators and low budget, and that's kind of where I'm feeling with this game. I'm like again, it's I think it's good so far. I'm enjoying it. It's just it feels like a lower budget version of Dark Side Detective with some Blackwell elements in it, which is all like. None of that is a criticism. None of that is a criticism. That's it's more, statements of I guess some of that is subjective because I don't know what the budgets are on any of those games. But the point being that it it does feel like an imitator, but also is fresh in some ways, and it's not like a cheap knockoff kind of thing. So it's like it's an imitator, but not a cheap knockoff. We'll put it that way. But I'm enjoying it, and I hope you guys are enjoying it too. It was just one of those things that popped into my head on playing it of like how it feels to me. I will say that the first episode has at least last time I looked, had about the same number of views as the episode of Dragon Quest VIII that went live the same day, which is, on the one hand, not a great sign for the Phantom Fellows. On the other hand, is a great sign for Dragon Quest VIII because we're over 100 episodes in. There has been substantially less drop-off for that game than other games, which is very nice. It's very nice. It is by far doing very well for the channel, so that does make me happy. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is our current ongoing stream. I'm streaming it now Mondays for sure, where we advance the story, and then Saturdays I'm trying to do like side stuff, side quests, doing some exploration, taking care of like the little field challenges and stuff like that to get goodies and things like that. So because there's just so much side stuff to do. Obviously, I'm still doing side stuff that's just like grinding for salvage off camera, and grinding through the common blades to get all their stuff unlocked. So I have some interesting common blades and also some, common blades to both have some interesting features and have enough of the field skills to do what I want and stuff like that. So that's what I'm doing off camera. But so there is a lot of content for Xenoblade Chronicles 2 coming out. It is definitely what I should have done with Xenoblade Chronicles 1 if I had realized just how big that game was going to be. But neither here nor there. I will probably do the exact same thing with Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and I did also see that Xenoblade X is getting a remaster coming out early next year. I will definitely play that, but I will probably want to play that after Xenoblade Chronicles 3, even though it came out in between Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2, and I don't think that it is firmly placed within like the setting, which also 1 and 2 aren't firmly connected. There's been a lot of okay. What I will say is I expect there to be new ties put into that game based on what I'm aware of with the remaster. Because like I know that they did some when they did the remaster for 1, they put in more ties to the later games in that and stuff like that. So like I think originally they were all gonna be kind of separate, and then they decided as they were working on them to tie them all back together. Is kind of how I've gotten the impression. So I expect more of that with Xenoblade Chronicles X, but neither here nor there. It is coming out, and I will definitely play that at some point. But I will probably want to get through 3 before I do that, just because I feel like it's tied together and stuff like that. So, but I'm pretty sure there's tons of Xenoblade 2 left. So, we'll see about that. I have suspended the retro streams on Mondays around 11:30 a.m. just because I've got a lot going on mentally, and I was having a hard time getting that, like keeping those streams. So I decided to, just suspend it for now. I'll later when I'm feeling better, I'll revisit it, and I'll talk a little bit more about what's going on personally after I talk, more about the channel. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Other stuff wise, playing a new series with Zerfall. We did finish up Holy Umbrella, Dandara no Mubo. That was a lot of fun. The portraiture in that game was top notch. I really did think they did an excellent job with the portraits in that game. Not being the actual player of that game and just co-commenting on it, I have no idea really how the gameplay was. Zerfall seemed to like it pretty well, so the gameplay. So there's that. But do check that out. I've left up the playlist there just because it wrapped up last month, and we're already on something new. We are playing Dynamite Tracer, or Dynamite Tracer. Dynamite, is it like it's Dynamite Racer? Dynamite Tracer, it's one of those merging of the words, and I'm not exactly sure where the where the inflections should all fall. But that is another Satellaview game from Square that was, broadcasted over the satellite system for the SNES. You downloaded it and you could play it, and then when you're done, delete it and play. Download a new game and play that. But that is a very strange game. It's very, very weird. Very, very weird. It's really it's really easy to complete the game extraordinarily fast. It is, we are finding, not the easiest thing to complete it and beat, shall we say, and win. That's what we're trying. But of course, like a lot of it is just exploring the various things that you can do in the game. It's definitely interesting. It's definitely weird. But do check it out, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. 2 episodes are out so far. Obviously, the easiest way to keep on top of that, same thing with Holy Umbrella when that was coming out, is to subscribe to Zerfall's channel, and I do highly recommend doing that. please do so and follow those on his channel. He is also he and Mysterious JG just recently wrapped up Samurai Showdown RPG, and they're now playing a game called Dead of the Brain for the PC-98, I think. So check that out as well for your more now slightly late October Halloween horror stuff, you know. But do check those out on his channel. Of course, Lego building streams and Spelljammer streams are still going on as well. I did have a couple missed streams recently. I was going to do some Halloween-y Lego builds on Wednesday, and I was not feeling very well that day, so we'll be doing that next week. And we did recently finish up the Orient Express on Fridays, so a new Friday build will be starting. We did complete the goal for the Starry Night, but I want to get one other thing in before we dive into another one of the rewards, the goals, and so we'll build something else and then build the Starry Night. And we are currently working on the Lego Ideas typewriter. So if you want to see me build that, some bits will help me to get there over on Twitch. So I do want to say, give out a great big thank you to all the people who are supporting me directly over on Patreon. Names are scrolling by on the bottom of the video. We've got YouTube members here, and of course all of the subscribers over on Twitch. Really does mean a lot to me, all the support that you are giving me. It really does help me keep going. Just knowing that there are so many people who are enjoying my content, and, enough to actually give me money to continue doing it, which, of course, also allows me to eat and pay for repairs to my car after it was stolen, which that is thankfully now done. Everything is done regarding that. That was quite the long what's the best term for that? Like, trial, I guess. I don't know. Just oddly enough, like for all that insurance companies get so much crap for things like that, the insurance company was fine. I had no problems with the insurance company. Like, a little delay here and there, once or twice, but other than that, it was basically fine. It was all the dealership just being absolutely terrible. When I finally went in for the last thing, just to get my sun visors replaced, I went in, took the car in, went and sat in the waiting room. They said 2 hours. 4 hours later, I'm like, because I'm a patient person. Like, I don't like to put pressure on people and stuff like that. I'm gonna get, I know things can take longer than you say. I don't want to be the type of person that it's like, you said 2 hours, it's now 2:01. Finish the thing up. Where is it, kind of thing. So 4 hours, I go over, I'm like, hey, it's been 4 hours. Where's my car? Oh, even though the people in the office knew I was waiting there, the mechanic didn't. They didn't tell the mechanic I was waiting there, so he didn't prioritize it. Ugh, what a friggin' waste of the day. Anyway, but that's all done now, and if I have my druthers, I will never, ever, 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 ever go back to that dealership ever again. If I have to do anything else, like another recall with the car or something like that, with something that needs to be replaced, I am absolutely going to look for another dealership and take it there, because no, I do not want to deal with them again. So, yeah, it's just so friggin' awful. And I don't like to get mad at people, and I don't like to harass them and stuff like that. I've been on the receiving end of that, and I've been a viewer of that. It's just awful, and I don't like doing that. So, but that's that. But it does really mean a lot to me that all of you guys who are supporting the channel are willing to do so and continue to do so. Thank you very, very much. And for those who can't support financially, but they are watching the videos and liking them and commenting on them and coming to the streams and participating in chat, thank you very much from, you know, my whole heart to you. It really does mean a lot. Thank you very much. And especially with what I've been dealing with, my depression is like depression is one of those things where it kind of like comes and goes, and not really coming and going, but it's not like a constant thing generally. Like you'll have good days and bad days. Like Wednesday just ended up being a really bad day for me. That's why I didn't do Lego building, and so it like comes and goes in waves, but it's erratic. So knowing that there are people out there who do care and do enjoy my content, it really, really does mean a lot to me, and it does help me keep going. Um, and again, anyone out there who is feeling depressed, feeling anxious, please do see about, getting some help. Talk to someone, get some medicine, whatever you feel is appropriate for you. Please do so. Um, I'm trying to get some better medicine that helps because the other stuff wasn't. So and that's always frustrating and a headache and everything like that, and it sucks. But it's just one of those things you got to do to try to get better. So that's kind of where I am right now, mentally and with my life. So there may be more stream disruptions in the future. I'm trying really hard to not have any um, of the regular videos get disrupted because that's kind of my. It really is the bread and butter of the channel. I make more, I mean, Patreon of course is a huge component of what I make, but YouTube is actually the biggest. And Twitch is good and it's solid, but it is not like I'd probably need double the viewership and double the subscriber base to get that up to a similar tier. So if there's going to be anything that kind of falls by the wayside, and I'm not saying that I would stop doing it, but that's the one that kind of takes the brunt. And it's also like it's live when it comes to the videos like Dragon Quest VIII and the Phantom Fellows and whatever is in those slots. If I can't record, like if today is a recording day, unless I literally have no episodes to do, I can always record tomorrow if I have a bad day today. But if today is my stream day and I have a bad day, it's either stream and feel awful or not stream. So it's one of those things like there's a lot more flexibility to ensure that the videos being posted here on YouTube are not suffering interruption, whereas there's no real slack on the streams unless I like go to a non-schedule stream system, which can't do for some things. Like the Spelljammer stream has to be scheduled. Everything else could be flexible, but I don't know. I feel like I'm more likely to get people in with scheduled streams. So I don't know, but that's kind of where I am right now. Before I wrap up, though, one other thing that I do want to bring up as normal, and there's one other thing that I want to bring up after this. For those who've been watching me for a while, checking out these updates, you know that I do. It's because of depression, it hasn't been as consistent, but every month I try to come up with a deity for second edition D&D, but also usable in other editions. But I am very, very close to the end of this project. At least what I had originally set myself up for doing. I'm going to be done with it next month. Not next month, next year. in early 2025. I only have a handful of deities left, so that is exciting. Obviously, it may fall to middle next year, depending on how badly my depression interferes. It has interfered a bunch of times this year, but I did get another deity done, luckily. Melira Tarlin, who is a goddess of music for an elven goddess of music. If you're into a D&D, go check it out on my blog. I will, of course, include a link in the description below so you guys can read that over. Obviously, there's a lot of people who are not following this channel who are supporting the project, but everyone who does follow my videos and also likes these, once again, thank you very much. It really does mean a lot to me that you guys are enjoying that too. Go ahead and check out Melira Tarlin, elven goddess of music. It was a lot of fun to write, and ended up being a very loving deity, I think, and that's always nice to see. The last thing that I do want to bring up, and for those who are done with everything channel related, you can stop watching the video now if you want. That's fine. But for those in the United States, we have an election coming up in just a few days, as of the recording of this. Please, please, for the love of everything, vote. Make sure that you are registered. If you've got same-day registration, make sure you've got whatever you need to register yourself. There's been some states that have been doing voter purges. Talking about like dead people and non-citizen voters, and that's all basically crap, because you can basically count on one hand the number of times those things happen every year, like every election. It is a minusculely tiny amount, and it is primarily designed to get legitimate citizen voters disenfranchised. You go in, you want to vote, but you've been purged from the voter roll for whatever reason, for whatever crap reason they come up with, and so you're turned away. You don't have, either they don't have same-day registration, you weren't aware that you were purged, or even if there is same-day registration, you don't have the proper documentation to get registered on that day. And it is legitimately designed to suppress the vote of actual people who have the right to do so. So make sure that you are prepared for that in case that is happening. If your state is a state that has been doing that, there are only certain states that are doing that, and there is a very clear grouping of states on why they're doing it. So make sure that you're prepared, and there's a lot of talk about this being the most important election of our lifetimes, and that is 100% true. It really, really is a potential turning point, whether we continue to have a free and fair democracy or whether we do not. So please do vote, and please vote for democracy. And it's not just one entry on that ballot. It is all the entries on the ballot. Because it is not just one person who wants to and can make the change to what would be an authoritarian, fascist government type. It is everyone supporting them in the power structure. So please, please do vote for democracy. Most elections in the United States, that is not actually on the ballot, because everyone supports democracy. In most of our past elections, it has been, like, that's not been an issue. When it comes to policy, how do we treat, other countries? What do you want for foreign policy? How you feel about levels of taxation, what kind of, environmental policy. All of these are policy questions, and there's always debate to be had about that, and how anyone feels about that. These are more subjective things. But when it comes to democracy, that is no longer like policy. That is whether we have the opportunity to choose the direction of our country or not. And usually that's not on the ballot in this country. Now it is. And it is so very important that we make the choice for democracy so that we can all continue to choose how we want our country to be shaped in the future. Without that, like, you can't have anything else. Freedoms, none of those things matter without the opportunity to continue to choose the direction of the country. So please, please do vote for democracy on election day, and it's just a few days away. If there is still opportunity to, register, and make sure that you are still registered. If you've got same-day registration, make sure you've got your documents and whatever you need to do that in your state. And there's been a couple places where ballot drop boxes have been damaged by fire. I think Portland, Oregon, and somewhere Vancouver, Washington. Both of those places, and there may be some others that I've heard about. If you live in those areas, make sure that you've checked to see if your ballot was affected by that so you can get a new ballot and get your vote in. There's a lot of forces that want to basically take democracy from us, and we can't let that. And democracy is not something that is not fixed in stone. It is not fixed in stone. Even though we've had lots of elections in the past where it's not been on the ballot, it's been on the margins. And there is always forces that want to take it away. You gotta always work to make sure that we continue to have democracy. Like, it is not a one and done thing. Once you get democracy, like, you can see it in other countries, countries that have had revolutions from authoritarian regimes and try to go democracy, when there isn't enough sustained effort to ensure that democracy continues, they backslide. And we don't want that here in the United States. And I don't want that for those countries, too. If you're in another country outside of the United States and you're listening to this and thinking that it won't affect you, it may. Just because it's not on the ballot right now in whatever upcoming election that you have, it may be in the future. So always make sure that that is not something that's coming up. It's not a danger in your country. By always working towards democracy. Like, please, please, please do. It is the only way for us to actually be able to choose what we want, and if we're not happy with previous choices, it is perfectly okay. It is, it sucks, but it's perfectly understandable and okay for you to choose someone, and then next time an election comes up, be like, boy, I bungled it. I did not like that person. They did not end up doing what I wanted. They did not end up being what I had hoped for. I'm going to make a different choice this time. Like, that's one of the advantages of democracy. You can always correct for your choices when they aren't what you ended up liking, But without democracy, you can't do that. So please, please do. The worry and anxiety over this election is one of the reasons why I am having so many mental problems right now. I mean, there's so many other problems going on, like with depression and anxiety right now in my head, but that's a big part of it, because I am legitimately, genuinely worried that I am witnessing the end of democracy in my country. And that is a terrible feeling. So please join me in voting for democracy in just a few days if you're an American citizen. Thank you very much. On that note, I hope that November this month is going to be great for all of you. I hope it is great for me and all of my fellow Americans. And I'm going to be getting out there and voting in just a few days. And I'm going to be trying to have a good November, all things considered. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in future Let's Plays where hopefully we can, at least for the time of that Let's Play, not think about anything worrying and just enjoy the video content. Thank you very much, everyone. I will see you next time. See you then, everyone.